You know, some of those days that you just stand up and you realize, I don't really have a lot of confidence in myself. I don't feel great about myself. I don't feel great about the things that I'm able to get done. And I don't know how other people can feel so confident in situations that I just can't seem to connect it. Well, I'm here to tell you today that there are ways that you can actually create and build confidence in yourself. It's one of the greatest things that you can actually do as you're embarking on this journey of self-development, self-growth, and truly creating a life that you want to be living. And the reason for that is because the more confident that you feel, the more faith you'll have in yourself. And the more faith you have in yourself, the more that you'll be able to focus on your goals and remain focused on those goals. And with that said, I would like to welcome you to Unleashing Happiness. I am your host, Cecilia Hendricks. And if you are new here, I want to say welcome, welcome. I am so thrilled that you have found me, and I hope that you find this beneficial and helpful. And if you're returning, thank you so freaking much for being here with me again. I am so excited. I love doing the podcast. I love connecting with you all. I love hearing from you. This has been such a phenomenal journey, and I feel like it has been just this connective piece to the journey that I've been on. So if you are new or you would like a reminder, this is the show that teaches you how to actually manifest a life that you want, but through a practical process, right? I don't believe that manifestation is magic. I believe it's just the way that the world works. And part of that is feeling confident in yourself and showing up for yourself in the ways that will help you build that confidence and build that faith. So today we're going to go over 3 ways that you can actually build confidence in yourself. You can literally create this as a skill. And one of the first steps, although it's not part of the 3 that I'm talking about, is realizing that it is a skill that you can create. That you don't have to say, well, I'm just not a confident person. Those are things that you are assigning to yourself. They are traits and an identity that you are assigning to yourself. And if you're assigning it, you can change it. I want to tell you that I'm actually going to do a little bit of a side note here. You can assign or change any kind of trait that you've given yourself. I am smart, I am kind, I am compassionate, I am creative, I am confident, I am curious. Those are all things that you can actually shift. You can build the life that you want by shifting your identity. Now, I'm not going to get into that much more deeper in this episode. I want to talk about how you can build confidence and give you the 3 things that you can start doing today. But a little bit of a spoiler alert, we are going to come back to that with the last thing that I recommend that you start doing in order to actually build your confidence in yourself. So the first one is going to actually be using your visualization. And if you're not able to visualize just the feeling of the visualization or the feeling of being in this moment, we'll talk about this more here in just a second, of actually doing the thing that you're worried about. Even if you're not worried, it at least gives you the opportunity to rehearse what you're going to perform. So I recently on my social media channels asked people, what are you rehearsing every single night? And I want you to take a look when you're trying to build your own confidence and create this skill of having confidence in yourself. What are you rehearsing? So when you look at your day, what is it that you're mentally rehearsing is going to happen? That you're going to succeed, that you're going to nail the presentation, that you're going to know your stuff and be creative and show up and do the things that you say you're going to do? Or is it that you're in a panic that it's going to flop, that you're not a good presenter, that you're going to stumble over your words? And high-end athletes are actually using this in their own practice to become better at their sport. Michael Phelps is a perfect example of this. He has gone on to share that he literally rehearsed every single night what he was going to do in the pool the next day. And he has a story of when his goggles filled up with water that it actually didn't cause him issues. Well, I mean, they caused some issues, but not like enough to prevent him from still breaking the world record because he had mentally rehearsed that swim so many times that he could do it, quote unquote, without eyes, right? He could do it without his sight because he had mentally reviewed what he was going to do. You can use this to your advantage. Mentally rehearse whatever you have to do that you don't have confidence in, even if it's something of going to a new social situation, maybe trying a networking event, going out in public in a new outfit, even like going to the pool and having a good time with your kids instead of feeling uncomfortable in your clothing. Look, I don't know if you've ever struggled with that, but I know that I did for many years. I had so many times that I did not experience things that were going on around me because I did not feel confident in my own skin. And I don't ever want to go back to that. I'm far from perfect, right? I am perfectly flawed and perfectly human. But that does not mean that I don't want to experience the events. And it's not even like I'm like, oh, I guess I'm going to experience them even though I don't love my body in a bathing suit. No, no, no. I'm like, I'm going to experience these because I enjoy life and I enjoy experiencing this stuff. I want to be in the pool. I want to go to the beach. I want to get the tan. I want to feel the sun on my skin. I love doing that kind of stuff. And the more that I show up for myself like that, the better off that I am, which is actually going to bring us to our second point, but I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. I tend to go off on little tangents sometimes, but we'll come back to this. Okay. I promise. I just want to wrap up using visualization and seeing yourself doing those things. So let's say that you have a presentation to your VP at work, and he's known for being a bit of a difficult person, and he can be really hard, on people, and he has very high expectations, and you're very concerned about this. Start mentally rehearsing at home that it went really well. Start imagining the things that you're going to say. Start imagining him nodding his head yes and telling you, yes, that's freaking awesome. You should do this. If you have like I did a speech recently at Disrupt HR, so it was about a month and a half ago, and I did this speech, and I know that I was like a little nervous, but I actually mentally rehearsed that it went phenomenal. And I'm going to tell you something, I cannot wait for this video to come out. I think it went really well. The audience laughed, they cheered. I had people come up to me after and they're like, you were phenomenal. That was so absolutely amazing. And actually people told me you should be a stand-up comedian because people were laughing and having a great time, and it really hit the mark on the audience that I had. And I don't think I would have done as well had I not had confidence in my ability to get up on that stage and do it. And the reason I had confidence in that was because I actually rehearsed it mentally. Even though I don't visualize, I still rehearsed it mentally. I never want anybody to feel like they can't do something or they can't use these techniques because they're unable to visualize. Just get into the feeling of going over how it goes or hearing somebody telling you that you did a phenomenal job. There are other ways than like strictly actually visualizing, right? Like you can use visualization as like a hearing, and I realize that's not visualization, but you can use that same sort of technique and connect it in a different type of way. So the second one is one that I actually kind of touched on before, is that you're going to just start showing up in the ways that you tell yourself you're going to. And I know this sounds maybe silly and a little eye rolling, but there is such power in doing the things that you tell yourself you're going to do, even when you don't want to. So setting up a process to say, I told myself I'm going to do this and I'm going to follow through. The more that you do this, the more faith and confidence you actually build in yourself. This is where you can actually tie it into a habit loop. You can take a look at your day and decide somewhere that you want to shift, just one small spot that you want to shift so that you can shift your identity towards the type of person who lives the ideal life that you're striving for. And I'm going to give you an example here, okay? Let's say that you really want to get promoted at work. And you take a look at your current habits and you realize that, you know what, on my way into work, I am in a really bad habit of mentally reviewing arguments with my boss. I mentally go over and prepare myself for my boss to get upset with me and to tell me I'm not doing a good job. So you have now recognized, you've become self-aware that this is a habit loop, right? We're going to go over that here in just a second too, but a habit loop that needs to be broken. So you could say, okay, I either need to break it, I need to change it, I need to do something, right? And a habit loop starts with your cue. A cue is any kind of trigger. So it can be you getting in the car to drive to work. It can be you grabbing your lunchbox off of the counter. It can be just 8 a.m. Anything, right? That's the trigger that says, okay, now it's the time. It could be even walking into the building, smelling a specific cologne. Sometimes I swear I get a little bit faster than my mouth can move. But that's the cue. And that cue triggers you to begin your routine. Now, if that routine is currently one that is not aligned to the type of person that you want to be and not aligned to the life that you want to lead, this is where we're going to start paying attention. So let's say you get in your car, you turn the key, start driving to work. All of a sudden you have the routine of mentally rehearsing an argument with your boss. Now, what you can do in these moments is say, I'm not going to continue this anymore. I'm going to stop this. Now you're doing both things, right? We're mentally rehearsing and you are showing up in the way that you say you're going to show up. I'm going to give you some examples of how you can interrupt this routine. You can start driving a different way to work. right? You can say, I'm not going to take the same way because every time I pass this light, it triggers me into this routine that I no longer want to continue. You can pick a podcast that you're really excited to listen to on your way to work. And you can say, instead, I'm going to listen to that. You can do some positive affirmations on your way to work. So those are all interruptions. You can put a sticky note every night on your steering wheel that reminds you, I'm changing. I'm doing this for myself and I'm going to mentally rehearse something better. Then when you get into your car, that sticky note reminds you that you want to do something else. You can play some fun, upbeat music and sing at the top of your lungs. Anything that's going to interrupt that routine. Now you're going to get the reward of showing up for yourself. That's what completes our habit loop. Cue, routine, reward. And your reward is going to be the fact that you're showing up for you. You're going to get like a little oomph kind of feeling, right? Because you're like, I'm doing this. I'm showing up. And then you also have the reward of building faith and confidence in yourself in the way that you're going to treat yourself. Now we can look at these in some other examples as well, right? You say, I want to be a healthier version of me. I don't like the life that I'm leading. I'm wiped out. I don't have energy. I can't walk very far. I'm concerned about what this is going to look like for my future. So then you make a choice in that moment. Okay, I'm going to change this. I'm going to start going for a 20-minute walk every single morning. Well, you've got to figure out the way to make sure that you show up for that because you want to have faith in yourself. I mean, just imagine if you had a friend that told you every morning at 8 a.m., I'm going to come pick you up and we're going to go for a walk. And the first morning, they don't show up. And they tell you, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, I promise. And then tomorrow comes and they don't show up. And they say, you know what, but it's Tuesday now. We should start on Monday. And then Monday comes and they're like, I really think we should start on like the first of a month. Like that would make a lot more sense. But we have to wait till the first of the month lands on a Monday. You're not going to have confidence in the person. You're like, this person is a flake. I cannot trust anything they say. They tell me they're going to show up and they just don't. Don't be that person to you. You should be your own best friend. You should show up for yourself. You should do these things no matter how small. And I'm using the example of a 20-minute walk. I'll give you other examples if you want. But you can show up for you. And the more that you do that, you have faith in yourself. You have confidence in yourself. So set up a routine and a cue that will help you get out on this walk like you say you're going to do. And you do that by actually making a choice and listing out how you're going to do it. So let's say that you start putting your tennis shoes right in front of your coffee maker. Like, man, it is in your face. The night before, you're laying out your outfit. You put your keys like in your shoes, right? In your walking shoes. So you know, like, I can't even leave the house until I do this walk. I've got a reminder. And if you have to start smaller than that, that is totally fine. You do not have to go from 0 to 100. As a matter of fact, it's better if you don't go from 0 to 100. It is much more sustainable to show up for yourself in these small daily wins than try to do 0 from 100 overnight. So that could look like just starting by laying out the outfit and in the morning putting it on. You don't even go for the walk, but you're going to say, okay, I want to change to a healthier version. My start of a habit change for that is going to be to just put on the walking clothes. Now, what this is going to do in your mind is your mind's going to say, well, wait a minute, I already got the walking clothes on. We've been putting these walking clothes on for 4 days. Dang it, we should put on the shoes. And then once you put on the shoes, then your mind says, I mean, we've got the shoes on. Like it's sunny out, looks kind of lovely. We should just go for the walk. You can evolve these things that you say you're going to show up for yourself. You can decide that the way you're going to show up for yourself is that you'll have 1 serving of vegetables per day. Whatever it is, you get to make that choice. If you're really struggling, honestly, I had a client that told me they were really struggling. They're like, I don't even know how to get started. So we started it with 3 things they said they were going to do each day, and they completed them. Those 3 things were to brush their teeth, make their bed, and put on clothes. Now, this is going to become my moment that I remind you that I am not a licensed therapist, right? I am just here to give you ideas of ways to improve your life and to use manifestation techniques in a very practical way that apply to everyday life. But I am not a licensed therapist. So if you are struggling to the point that you feel like you could be a harm to yourself or to someone else, I do please ask that you find a licensed therapist in your area who is more equipped to help you than my podcast. I certainly hope that my podcast helps many people. I believe that it does based on the messages that I get. I also know that my coaching has really helped quite a few people and it has been absolutely remarkable and beautiful. But if there are things that you are looking to work through that are trauma or from your past and you're struggling to kind of see your way forward, I highly encourage and respect that you do reach out to somebody who is a licensed therapist that can help guide you through that and also work through whatever traumatic experiences you've had. And I did want to connect back then on being able to start small. Like literally, they had 3 things that we decided on. You're going to get dressed, you're going to brush your teeth, and you're going to make your bed. Those were the 3 ways that they showed up for themselves. And I'm going to tell you, those 3 things were the catalyst to them completely changing their life. Because once you do that, even if it doesn't happen the first day and doesn't happen the first week, eventually your mind is like, oh, this isn't, okay, I got this, right? Like it's a domino effect. Now we're going to do something else. Or I'm going to add a 4th thing to that list. And that 4th thing is going to be, I'm going to eat breakfast. Or that 4th thing is going to be, I'm going to step outside. I'm going to read a book for 10 minutes. Whatever it is, you build on these things. But the more that you show up for yourself when you say you're going to and you do the things that you say you're going to do, the more confidence you build. It seems kind of silly. At least it did to me when I first heard it. I'm like, oh, okay, so showing up for myself. But I'm going to tell you something. I didn't. I used to constantly make promises to myself I did not keep. I was always waiting for tomorrow. I was always waiting for Monday. I was always waiting for some catastrophic event to happen for me to make some sort of change. And I don't want to look back on my life and see that I just spent it waiting. Right? I want to do the things. I want to be the person I want to be. I want to be the person I want to be right freaking now. I don't want to wait. I don't want to hope that that's going to come into my life. I'm going to create that for me now. And that's what action is. It's not about forcing something to happen. It's not about showing up on some specific person's doorstep after you have a restraining order and telling them that you love them and playing a boombox. Oh gosh, some people are probably not going to know what a boombox is, but a boombox outside their window to say like, hey, I'm here, pay attention to me. No, that action is showing up for you. That action is aligning to the person that you want to be and to show up every single day the way that you say you're going to love yourself enough to say, I'm going to do this for me. I deserve it. I'm worthy of it. And damn it, even if I don't feel that right now, I'm going to because I'm showing up for me. And that first step right there is an actual shift in your state. That is a shift in your identity from the type of person who doesn't show up to the type of person who does. And now we're going to get to the last one that I hinted at the beginning of the episode. But before I begin, I wanted to talk to you about a new offering that I have. It's completely free, right? It's an email series that you can connect with managing your own moods and remaining focused on your desired outcome, remaining focused on your wish fulfilled. So it is an emotional regulation course through email, totally free. You get 5 emails that give you a step-by-step process to follow. It comes every couple of days, right? It's not every day because I want you to work on stuff, but every couple of days, you're going to get a task and some journal prompts for you to actually start filtering through what it is that you want and how to remain focused on it, overcome your own personal limiting beliefs, overcome the things that are holding you back. It is kind of amazing. I've had a couple of people tell me like, I can't believe you're doing this for free, but I feel like it's important to give back and give you the tools to become the person that you want to be. So if you want to sign up for that, the link is going to be down in the show notes. Make sure that you grab it. If you're on YouTube, the show, it'll be also in the description of the video, but you can also email me if you need a direct link. It's unleashinghappiness@ceciliahendricks.com. Now, without further ado, let's talk about this third thing. And it might sound a little cheesy, but I want you to change how you're talking to yourself. I mean, if you look, all of these things connect with each other. But small shifts in the way that you talk to yourself can have immense benefits on your life. And I want to give you an example here, right? If you say, I'm an anxious person, I am anxious, you are now defining your identity as anxious. And you're likely going to feel that a lot, right? Our bodies and our brains respond to what we tell it. There's this really awesome quote that I love. It's from William James. And he said, people by and large become what they think of themselves. And that is so true. And mystics and psychologists and scientists all say the same thing. What you continue to think about yourself is what you're going to experience. Neville Goddard says the same thing. The only reason that you are not what you want to be is your inability to believe that you are it, right? So that's actually paraphrasing. I didn't look up his quote directly, but it's one of my favorites where it's like, I can be anything that I desire. I can live a life that I truly love. I know because I've created that for myself. I've watched clients create it by doing these 3 simple steps, right? And you can connect so much stuff to the way that you talk to yourself. So when you say, I am anxious or I'm an anxious person, that's what you're going to get. You say, I am exhausted. I'm always so sleepy. I never have any energy. You are assigning that to yourself. So one of the changes that I started making is I would say, I feel anxiety. Like, oh man, I'm coming into something. I feel anxiety. I could also shift it to say, I feel excitement. Like I feel nervous, right? But it's I feel. It's not that I am that. That's not my identity. It's just something I'm currently feeling. I can do the same thing with confidence. I can say, I am not feeling all that confident. I need to work on this. I'm feeling nervous. I'm feeling upset. I'm feeling angry. I feel tired today. Those are not parts of my identity. They are just things that I feel. And if I feel them now, it doesn't mean I'm going to feel them in 5 minutes. So start talking to yourself more kindly. You can do it in the mirror. You can write it out as affirmations. Honestly, it's whatever works for you. You can listen to other people saying it. Like there's like YouTube content that does it. There's podcast content that does it, that will say it and then you can repeat it back. I've actually considered starting to record some of my own for my YouTube channel. I think that it could be really beneficial in doing like little pieces. It's been a bonus in some of my courses to have like these affirmations. And I'm like, I should just put this out to the world, right? Like I should allow you all to join me on this experience. It doesn't have to remain in one of the courses that I offer. So just spend some time over the next few days looking at these 3 areas and what you're doing. So what are you rehearsing, right? How are you showing up for yourself when you say you're going to do something? And how do you talk to yourself? Just start by even spending the next like 12 hours, just all of today, after you listen to this episode till you go to bed, paying attention to those 3 areas. Take note, because you can only change something that you're aware of, right? Like you can't change it if you don't even know you have to change it. So become aware of it. Give yourself some forgiveness and some compassion. Say, man, I'm so thankful that I know this now. Let's change it. And then do the things that I talked about in the beginning about how to change these routines and these habits. So I hope you found that helpful. I hope that you will sign up for the email course. I'm super excited about it. I've put a lot of work into it. So I hope that you find it beneficial. If you have any questions, you can always email me, unleashinghappiness@ceciliahendricks.com. Or honestly, you can find me on like TikTok or Instagram and send me a note. I'm always checking my DMs there. So I am definitely open to DMs if you have any questions. And I wish you nothing but the absolute best. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week. Now, if you're still here with me, 1, thank you so much for listening to the end of the episode. And 2, if you could please do me a favor and either share this episode out with somebody you think it would be helpful for, or leave me a rating and a review. It definitely helps me out, especially if you're listening on Apple Podcasts. If you're listening on YouTube, thank you so much for being here. I am excited to announce that I am working on bringing video to the podcast episodes. So that's something that I've been asked for, and I am working on it. I just need to get a couple other things aligned and set up, and then I will have that done for you. So I appreciate you being here, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week.